Hi, my name's Maxine. I'm a learning support assistant at Hotwood Hall College. I've definitely got a daily routine. I really enjoy cycling, and I'm fortunate enough that I live close enough to college where I can commute to college on my push bike cycling, and I really enjoy that, the journey in and the journey out. The only time I don't follow that daily routine if the weather's too bad in winter, if it's frosty and things. I don't like to ride my bike, but it's a big hobby of mine, and it's great that I can use it to commute to work. Short distance really. On the way in it's all downhill, which is nice, but not so good on the way back because it's all uphill. So that's my training session for the day. I enjoy anything outside. I like hill walking, obviously cycling, and I do a lot of long distance walks as well. So if I don't come to college on my bike, my other routine will be to walk into college. Once I arrive at college, it's normally about 8:45 when I start work at 9 o'clock. So obviously I have to change out my cycling wear that I wear into college, put my helmet and my gloves in the same place, always the same, then I make a cup of coffee before I go to my first lesson. It's just the normal Azero Nescafe coffee. Yes. If I'm feeling generous, I go to the college canteen and I might have a cappuccino, but normally I make my own coffee. I try to make sure all the students know what they're expected to be doing in the lesson, which is obviously a daily lesson routine. I make sure I do that every time I go into lesson. I always let them know I'm available to support them with anything that they need with the college work. My ride home on the bike, I find that a way of, I know it sounds like it's strenuous cycling uphill, but it is my part of relaxation and taking my mind off my day at work. Obviously you have to be switched on, don't you, when you're cycling in traffic, but that's my release. I relax by cycling or going for a walk.
Well, thank you for doing this interview.
No, thank you, Fraser, I've enjoyed it, thanks.
Hi, my name's Mary and I'm a media tutor here at Hotwood Hall College. So my morning routine when I arrive at work, I cycle in, lock my bike up, and then I come into the staff room, and I can't get going in the morning without a caffeine fix. So I usually come in, put the kettle on, and then I make a coffee to get me going, get me ready for the day ahead, and sit and enjoy that while I sort of prepare myself for what's to come.
What kind of...
Well, outside of college, I do tend to drink kind of coffee where you actually grind the beans fresh, and then you put it in like a percolator thing, and it cooks on the hob. But in college, I just have like standard, no frills, coffee granules, instant coffee with milk. I don't have sugar. And I have cups. I'm quite particular about the cups that I like actually. So I have particular cups that I will use, and others that I definitely would be offended if I ever got given a cup of tea or coffee in one of them. And that's just to do with my taste, I think, and it's to do with the feel of the cup. So, and also the colour of the cup. My current favourite cup does actually say on it Star Teacher, and it's cream. And ideally it would be bigger because I do usually like to have a large cup of tea or coffee, but as a teacher you often have short breaks, so the size of cup I have is kind of perfect for a quick cup of coffee or tea. Well, I come in and then get my cup of coffee, turn my computer on, check my emails usually first of all, see what's coming through, what news there is, what immediate tasks need to be completed, and respond to the emails. And then I also have a to-do list. I use sticky notes, which is like on the computer. I do keep lists in notebooks, but what I've found is I end up with lots of notebooks with lots of different lists in. It's quite difficult to keep track of what I'm actually doing, so I've started using sticky notes because I can access it on any computer, and it's just one list in one place, much easier to manage. Well, I have 2 horses, so that's a big part of my daily routine. At the weekends and days that I'm not in work, I go twice a day, and on the days when I'm at work, I go once a day. So I have to go there and It involves mucking out the stables or the field, bringing them in from the field or putting them out in the field, feeding them. There's lots of jobs, and it's a very specific routine that I find is really helpful actually. I enjoy it.
Do you think...
Well, the strange element of looking after horses is probably the amount of work involved. There is a lot of work, it's very physical. I have to move big wheelbarrows full of muck around, and it's a lot of extra sort of chores really, but I never complain about it because what I like about it is I'm around animals and they're lovely to be around. I'm in nature because it's really beautiful where they're kept. Something about it because it's like my own space, and the only demands on me there are kind of this regular routine. Something about that is kind of calming and grounds me, I think.
Okay, hi, I'm Kelsey Ford and I am one of the creative media teachers at Hopwood Hall College in Rochdale. On a daily basis, that's a regular thing. So obviously I get up, I get myself sorted for work. My partner tends to sort the children out to get them ready for school because he works closer to home. I have to get on the motorway to get to Rochdale, so that's kind of our routine there. When I get to work, one of the first things I do is I come into the office and I put the kettle on because I cannot face the day, let alone students, without a little bit of a caffeine boost. And then I go about my planning and my teaching duties, and then I go home. I go home. Got a bit of a weird and odd routine when I leave work because I'm a bit forgetful, so I always have to check where's my keys, my purse, my phone, and make sure that I've got everything in my bag. Because being on the second floor, I've done it a few times, get into my car and realise I've left my phone on my desk, so I've got to come back into work to go and get it. So I sort of have a little routine to get me, so I've got everything before I leave. And then when I go home, usually, really bad habits when I go home, I'll usually go home, sit on the sofa, start binge watching the latest thing that I'm watching. But more recently I've tried to have a little bit more get up and go about myself when I go home, and recently I've been doing housework and getting sorted, and it's just made me feel a lot better really, a bit more motivated to do stuff. Oh, it's a cup of tea. It's got to be a cup of tea with a splash of milk, unless it's a really stressful time, maybe like now when we're doing final major projects, it might be a coffee, but I would say 99% of the time I go for a good cup of tea. And I just take my tea as it comes because we're a really nice bunch here on the creative arts and media team. So if someone's putting the kettle on, they sort of make it for everyone in the room. No one makes a cup of tea the same, do they? So I'm not fussy. I'm not like it needs to be this milky or it needs to be like a proper builder's tea or anything like that. I take it as it comes.
You do. All right.
Oh, hobbies. So that's a really good question because my biggest hobby is grassroots football. So it's kind of a big thing in our house because my son plays for Ellen Juniors. My partner is one of their coaches and I am the club welfare officer. So we're part of the big Ellen Juniors community. So that's probably my biggest hobby because that comes with not only watching football, but it comes with sort of socialising and speaking to a lot of local people and just getting the enjoyment from watching the children play grassroots sports, which is incredibly important in terms of opportunities. So I would say that's my biggest hobby. Oh, the work that I do. So being a teacher, a lot is down to sort of planning and creating resources and trying to make lessons as interesting and as inclusive as possible. I would say the best part of my job is the actual being in the classroom with learners. The second best part is the planning because you get to see it unfold in the classroom. I would say the worst part and the most boring part is the admin part of being a teacher. There is an incredible amount of admin that goes with marking student work. So it's not that I don't like marking students' work, it's the paperwork that goes with it. And there's a lot that goes on back of house that students don't see. And I would say that's probably the worst part. I just want to be in the classroom with my students.
I see. So
transportation, I drive a Dacia Stepway, so a car. which is really exciting because we were originally a one-car household because of where I previously worked, and it worked. But when I got this position here in Rochdale, it meant we had to have 2 cars, so I felt like I'd got my independence, even though I very much had it, because when I started here, it was only 4.5 years ago, so I was very much an adult and had my independence. But like having my own car since working here has given me a lot more opportunities to like go away with friends, and I would say it's given my partner flexibility as well, because we're just able to do more either together or separately at ease.